Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk Stupid. I'm Compound.
And I'm Proud. And today's episode topic is
Festival.
Yay!
Well, it's kind of like something that Thai people are very fond of, right? Because we like to throw a lot of festivals and we like to have a lot of holidays, Father Day, Mother Day, Earth Day, Labor Day, Democracy Day.
Exactly.
Oh, that's sad.
I think that applies to like all countries and all citizens. We enjoy holidays a lot. Like for this week, for example, we actually have 2 holidays and that's amazing.
Yeah. What do you do on Asanha Busha holiday then? It's a Buddhism holiday, for example.
To be honest, I do nothing. I just lay around reading novels or doing homework. I'm not that religious, so yeah, I've heard like there are some rite or some ceremony, I'm not sure, that people do during Asanha Busha or other things like going to temples, praying, but due to COVID and other factors, I don't think people are gonna do it these days anymore.
I see. For me, I do nothing as well. I'm not religious, and even if I am, I'm too lazy to do anything. And well, so me and Proud, we agreed to come up with one festival of our own. So we're going to tell you what it's about, and you can go and figure your own festival and tell us via email as well. So, Proud, would you like to start?
Sure. So, one of my many guilty pleasures is warm bed sheets. Oh no, warm blankets. Sorry. Because it's so warm and cozy, and whenever my mom finished drying them, I just like wrap myself around it, and it's so warm and it's so nice. Whether I'm feeling stressed or whether I feel a little bit depressed, but if I got wrapped by those blankets, I'll feel amazing. I can't stop smiling whenever I get wrapped in it, so I want to celebrate that. So you can say it's warm blankets festival. I feel like to make it more universal or make it more applicable for other people, you can say that it's a festival to celebrate something that is small, but it makes you appreciate life more. Even though it's just something typical, but if you lose it, you'll feel like your life will be harder. And so like even though it's a small thing, but it can initiate lots of happiness or things like that.
Wow, that's so nice. I mean, I would like to have one of these festivals in my country, in our country.
Like
It would be so nice,
small
have a holiday.
but lots of happiness. What happens to my voice? Okay.
Well, as for my idea of a festival, is that I would call it a People Library Day. So in this day, people will come out and pretend that they are a book. For example, I'll pretend that I'm Romeo and Juliet, and then suddenly on the street, I will recite a line from Romeo and Juliet to everybody. Or if I'm Plato Republic, I will recite Greek politics to you. And we will bring a book that represents ourselves out in that house and go on the street and talk to as many people as we can, pretending to be the spirit of that book.
Spirit of that book, not the character, right?
You can also be a character, but that'll be a little less interesting since you don't cover the spirit of the entire book, but just only one character. But whatever.
That's interesting. But people who participate in this festival must be like bookworms. So
Yeah, really intellectual.
really intellectual.
Or else other people won't get your book, or And you need to choose quite a famous book. You don't choose some book that you write yourself.
So that it can be like relatable.
Yeah. I kind of got this idea from like Fahrenheit 451.
Really?
Because because in the book in the book all the books in the story was burned, so there were associations of people who were trying to preserve the knowledge, so they read some of the books and then they burn it to like erase the evidence, and they become the book itself and they recite the knowledge to other people around them.
Like the old ways that people used to learn things in Thai, right? They memorize it. And
yeah,
that's cool.
So, well, enough about our festivals. So, I think what happens lately is that people are participating less in festival these days because, for example, like for Buddhism's holidays, we don't feel the urge to go outside and do religious activity. Although I would say that I believe in Buddhism, I don't think like I would want to go to the temple and walk around Ubosot with a candle or anything.
Yeah.
What do you think we can do in order to improve the engagement?
I've heard that many temples actually made like an online temple where you can like walk around in 360s. Like I've seen Wat Dang online, and they have like all the sceneries, all the main attractions that you can sort of walk around. Or I believe you can do it in Google Maps too, right? You can put your figures inside and you can see the world around. I'm not sure what it's called, but like you can wander around places. Maybe do some things online, make it digitize something about that, and I'm not sure. I really have no idea.
Well, what you said is very interesting. Since last year, I also participate in Loi Krathong Festival online.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Well, it's great for the environment and it's also convenient. Save money as well.
Yeah, it's super cool, but I've kind of missed like the old days where we go hang out with our friends and do Loi Krathong festivals, or I kind of miss like the school environment of like the Loi Krathong festivals competition, where we get to make each krathong and then compete against each other. It's cool that there's online thing, but I would think that the experience can never outdone the real experience that we get from participating the events.
Yeah.
Or
like the original krathong should be something like flowers or baitong, right? I'm not sure what it's called, that plant. And it's just banana leaves, baitong.
Yeah.
So I believe like in the old days many people use that and it contaminated the water or the canals, so it's rather bad. But I know that some universities like Chulalongkorn University also have like a preserved pool for Loi Krathong Festival, and you can loi your krathong there in that pool, and the krathong itself will be something like plastic, but they'll be reusable and they'll be in that restricted area only, right?
True. Well, to be honest, it's a guilty pleasure if you like to Loi Krathong in real life, because even though there's a preserved pool, even though the plastic is recycled eventually, you gotta admit that there will be some force, there will be some labor put into employment to specifically sort out the garbage that you created from this particular event, right?
Yeah.
And these labors can be used for many other things.
But I mean, like for July, I think it's more like artificial pool, right? I'm not sure, but I think it's better for the environment because at the end of the day, the staffs will pick up all the gratong and like reuse it, like give it to other people in line or things like that. And so it's not like it disappeared or it sank to the bottom of the pool. I believe it might sank to the bottom to the pool, but I still think it's better because it's not like natural waterways. It's just there. And it doesn't contaminate the water. It doesn't spoil.
See, well, it could be good. Jula also made another event a few years ago where Songkran is still available in our country. Yeah, it's Songkai Festival at Siam Square. I believe that Chulalongkorn or Chula Properties are the one who's in charge of making this event happen. Yeah. Have you ever participated in it?
No, I've never participated in any public Songkran event.
Why not?
Because I feel like it's dirty. I usually enjoy or participate a small gathering of my cousins and relatives Songkran Festival. It's still fun, even though there aren't that many people, but we could run around a lot. And I don't really like the baby powder part of Songkran. I think it's very dirty, and I don't know how many fingers are in that bowl of baby powder with water. And sometimes so my brother studied in the UK, right? Before he flew to study there in his freshman year, he probably, oh no, that's a different story, but okay, never mind. I got confused a little bit, but basically I'm not sure about the hygiene aspects of Songkran, and I feel like those waters, we don't know where those water come from, and so I know Chula can organize things very neatly, but still I don't know where the hell those water come from.
True. Well, in Chula Songkran Festival, there's like a supply of water where you can refill. I'm pretty sure it's legit, and they also say no to like the buckets and stuff. The only thing you can carry as your like water weapons is the gun, because using buckets is a waste of water. I find that very cool because I carry a bucket there with a hope of playing Songkran as anybody else, and they say no, you need to buy water gun. And it costs a lot. It costs like 250 baht or like, that's the cheapest one. The more expensive one are like 1,000 baht. There's a minor inflation happening in the event. So I went in, and I didn't shoot anybody because I was soaked. I can't open my eyes. I feel like I hurt so much. I don't know what they put in the water. I mean, the supply is legit, but my eyes hurt so much. I need to buy like, a safety glass.
Yeah,
and then I continue to play.
And you have to have like waterproof bags for your belongings as well. Your phones, your wallets, right?
Oh yeah, it's like a small bag hanging on my neck. But it's awful.
Another thing that I really dislike about Songkran is like theft or some people doing like sexual harassment because you are soaked, and people that place is crowded, and like there are lots of opportunistic people.
True, that's a bum. But personally I've enjoyed Songkran very much in my childhood, especially in public, because I usually went to Songkran in Buriram, right? And there will be like a truck coming, a truck of like a kid in other households, and there will be like a showdown between kids' houses.
Oh yeah, whenever I went to Songkran with my at my grandparents' house in Rayong, I also have that experience as well. But I've heard that it's actually illegal to do so nowadays.
Yeah.
Like it's illegal to go to like the behind the trunk part of a truck and shoot things at people.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it was kind of shady as well because when I was a child, I viewed this experience as like, fun and interesting. When a Toyota pulls in and somebody I don't know opened the rear window and splashed the water in my face, I view it as fun and entertaining. But right now, it was kind of a little shady and scary that somebody can just open the window and ambush you with water that you don't know is clean or not.
Oh, other things that I've heard, people dislike Songkran. Even though I'm not that relatable to this topic, but I've heard that people hate Songkran because of the baby powder. But this time, many people somehow love to apply baby powder to other people's vehicle, especially cars, when they drive through like narrow streets, right? And your car, like freshly washed, will be painted with the baby powder. So whenever it's Songkran Festival, do not wash your car before that day.
Well, actually, there will be some naughty kids who like spray water into your freshly washed car, and that water is not clean.
Yeah.
And that kid used to be me. Oh, I can't resist it. Sometimes it's so boring. I just shoot cars randomly. Oh, I think what happens in like most of Thai festival and has been debated for like a very long time is that it is not good for the environment, right?
Yeah. You waste a lot of water like in Songkran. And I feel like many festivals in Thailand also involves a lot of water, like Songkran, Loi Krathong, and we also have the festival too in like the eastern part of Thailand that have some festival about praying for rain to, that it involves lots of water.
True. Well, what's irony about these festivals that we're praying and we're like, kind of wishing well to the water, but instead we're wasting them.
Yeah, and we're contaminating them and we're polluting them.
So there has been a proposal that these festivals, they have goodwill, they have good intention. So we should take the good intention of this festival and then we transform it into other forms. For example, there will be no further Songkran. There will only be a water gun playground, for example, where you shoot people with water gun instead of laser gun.
But to be honest, Songkran is more than just splashing waters. I've heard that originally it should be something you should รดน้ำดำหัวผู้ใหญ่ which is like pouring water and receiving blessings or from the elders. And there are that peaceful part that is basically almost gone now, I believe.
Yeah, I have never done that.
Really? I used to do it when I was younger, and I'm not sure how many years was it, but this year Songkran is also cancelled because of COVID.
True.
And
well, COVID bums a lot of things. Well, what do you think can compensate the fun we deserve to have?
Maybe do it next year and make it bomb.
Oh, I don't think we can do Songkran next year because Songkran it's out of option, because COVID is so severe, and I think there will be some aftershock after COVID, even though it's kind of like 90% gone. You can't do it because we all think that other people are contaminated.
Yeah, and I feel like people are more anxious when it comes to crowded places these days, so maybe it will be less crowded, but Yeah, I do agree. Maybe it will be next 2 years earliest before like we can have Songkran again.
Let's hope that our country stay strong and pull through.
Let's pray.
Well,
It's actually getting a bit worse. I don't understand why as well.
we're not going to talk about that because
Yeah.
it's that's conversation for another day, and it's
True.
too depressing to chat about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another thing about festivals in our country
Mm-hmm.
and the future of our festival is that I think it happens to almost all the country that are not Christian as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we start to adapt more of like this tradition of like Halloween and also Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
which honestly our country is our Buddhist population is a lot.
Yeah, it's
more than the
90%
Christian
or something.
population.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people who are doing these festivals, most of them are not Christian.
Yeah.
But we're adapting it to our life. What do you think will happen in the future of this?
I feel like it depends on country as well. You know, pop culture is spread everywhere, so people try to fit in. Like, naturally, conformation is like a part of human behavior. We copy one another. We try to fit in to be in the same society, in the same community. So it's only natural that we try to fit in with those Western cultures. I feel like in the future, because of the internet, maybe more festivals will be integrated. Maybe someday those Western countries may even adapt our culture into it. Maybe not in the form of festival, maybe in other forms like food or clothing, which I believe has already begun.
True. A little fun tip, do you know that Songkran is also played in like other Western country? I don't remember Poland or Sweden.
Really?
Yeah, people like splash water to each other. But it's super cold there, so it's not as grand as Songkran in Thailand, because if you throw too much water at other people, they'll freeze to death.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I think that we start to adapt these cultures and it makes us a lot more fun, because I've seen like some kids start a choir singing like Christmas songs and people giving gifts to another. I think it's pretty nice, and even though we don't believe in Jesus, maybe it's okay to do those festivals as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a Christian.
I feel like it's fine, but like Songkran, we only pull out certain aspects of that festival, even though the history or the story of that festival is much more profound, is much deeper. We just use the aspect of exchanging gifts, use the aspect of dressing up as ghosts or cosplaying, and maybe, well, certainly it should be fun. It must be fun, but it lost its touch. It lost its special uniqueness.
True. Well, I've heard one thing is that when you wanted to get close to someone, as in like friends, get close to friends or get close to a community more, you create like a special events in a specific time in order to celebrate together, create some sort of rites. And then people around you, people who join these certain rites will feel a sense of conformity, unity, and you guys will be closer.
Really? Wow.
So I think that even though it's online, people will find a way to celebrate something online anyway.
Oh, did you know there's a platform called Gather.io? It's a place. It looks like an RGB game, but like an online RGB game. But actually, it's for meeting. You can turn on the camera. You can turn on microphone, but you can also see the sort of almost game-like screen. So you
Avatar.
yeah, so you can navigate the place, you can have whiteboards, you can do presentation, there's projector, there's game room, you can customize it. It's very cute as well, and it's like an online collaborative workspace for, I believe it's developed especially during the COVID time, so it's super cute and super fun. So I think that that could be one of the ways to do it during quarantine.
Nice. Well, actually, I think that maybe the things that grow from coronavirus events will continue to grow in the future, because we would like to connect, no matter like to people near us that we can't go to. We also like to connect with people from the other side of the world as well, to like, you know, because in online game these days you can't always play with like foreigners, and people who say they practice like English, like speaking or typing from video games, I believe partly they actually do, but it's almost not possible to like, you know, play games in like the same server with like US players. But with these new platforms it may be possible.
That's interesting. Yeah. But I don't think people play games just to learn languages though.
It's just an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an excuse.
But if those excuses were enabled to become the truth, I think that would be a lot better for a lot of people.
That's interesting as well. But I believe there are already many platforms for people to try to practice speaking another language or typing another language in exchange. So like you teach them Thai and they teach you English or things like that. But these platforms, I try to register once, and like I chose many preference about like I want to speak English more fluently or things like that. I just filled in those, and somehow there was a very creepy guy who like suddenly contacted me, and I was so freaked out because he looked so weird and creepy, and the way he greeted me was so scary. So I stopped using it right away, like signed out, delete the account, and psych.
Yeah, dude, like in Penpal, I used to register in Penpal, right? And first we talk like normal people talk, and then he asked this very sexual question, and I was only like 14 or 15 at the time, but I know that's a sexual question, so I was like,
no thanks.
no, why you become a creep? And I suddenly blocked him.
Yeah,
they should have more strict policies.
Exactly, they should create a community that people really want to learn, not just to fool around trying to find soulmates in the place where you should be learning languages.
Yeah, and what's ridiculous is that there's another app called Tandem, right? You can find like people in your own age, and like there's actually a problem with like matching, because people sometimes we want to learn language but we don't have time, we don't have the efforts, we don't have the motivation, we see that it's hard and then we quit. And that's what happened to like most of these applications. Most of the people who register in the app has no real intention of like, you know, actually being invested in the language and learning it and spending time with it.
True.
Well, do you have anything else to add to like, you know, this week topic?
Oh, I have some fun topic. I feel like, you know, in many movies there are lots of the Dead's festival where like someday, maybe not Halloween, but let's say it's Halloween before that, like the dead mingles around the living. What do you think? If it's a reality, it doesn't have to be Halloween though, it can be any events that on that day, like the door between the world of the living and the world of the dead opens and the dead walk among us. What do you think will happen?
That's very interesting. Oh, well, first we have like these festivals where we like pay respects to like our dead elders, right? What is it called in like Chinese?
清明.
Oh yeah, Qingming. So I burn, I burn tons of like golden papers.
Oh yeah, that's also
Yeah,
very
and
bad for the
food.
environment. Again.
And house, and I light up a lot of fireworks. Not like
Oh,
that kind of fireworks.
I've seen like those papers that we burn are meant to like be something that we sent to our ancestors, and I think they're very cute. I saw like iPhone papers, I saw houses, I saw cars, and it's so cute, but it's so bad for the environment, and we burn it every single year except for COVID, of course.
Well, if the door of the dead and the door of the living suddenly, connect to each other, I will really want to see what happens to those papers. And did they really receive it? Because if you don't, then I'll stop doing it.
They probably don't.
Yeah, like, what is the currency up there? What do you do so I can design my life to be practical as possible?
Oh, that's also very interesting because I saw some of those paper be like money for the debts, and I was like, oh, what about me burning real money? Would you get that?
Exactly. Like, if someone smoked a cigarette like around the area of Qingming, would it disappear to like heaven?
That's so interesting.
Like, suddenly there's cigarettes all over the place. Is this heaven?
Or what about cars, like gasoline?
Oh.
Heaven will be filled with gasoline.
Yeah, and garbage.
Exactly. And candles as well, or tulip. I'm not sure what it's called.
Incense.
So it won't be very pleasurable. But what about another kind of the Day of the Dead, like in Mexico? Like, I believe those days are exactly what my description is, like your loved ones are among the festival, right? I'm not sure though.
I don't know much about like this Mexico because I only watch Coco.
Oh, me too.
And I assume that's all I know about the festival.
Me too.
And I think that it's only cool when you get to go through the door. If you are the people who live in like the side of the living, it's like another typical days where you need to pay respect to your ancestors. And like, it's not like we if the dead actually come out, will they have memories of us?
Oh, that's interesting. I think they should. Let's say they are.
Oh, well, then just another family gathering where you don't know everybody.
Okay, sure. Well, what if you are able to cross to the land of the dead? What would you do?
No offense. Well, normal people would say I will go to my grandpa, but I don't know my grandpa. But I kind of want to know a lot of like writers. I'll go to like Shakespeare, George Orwell first, and then I'll go to my grandpa's later because I know grandpa will always be there for me.
Oh, so cute. Yeah, I don't know my grandpa as well, like my maternal grandpa. But yeah,
But that's it. I won't go to find any further ancestors because I don't think they'll know me.
True. But it would be fun though, like talking about your grandparents' childhood with like your great grandparents. Or
I don't really think it will be awkward. Like, I think the family gathering these days are super awkward.
Maybe sometimes it's true, but maybe we'll probably not be able to relate to them that much because like the world has changed a lot, and the way they think, the way they speak, it might be different. And also my ancestors are probably all Chinese, so I don't think I'll be able to communicate with them much.
Like, and how will they know that we are their like grandchildren?
Maybe our faces.
Because honestly, let's admit it, we all look kind of
the same.
Similar, yeah. Like bring your friend. Bring a friend along with you to the trip of the dead, and you challenge your grandparents to identify who's the grandchildren.
That would be
I doubt they will
funny.
be.
Oh,
Hey.
and
Oh, you could try. Always. You could bring me.
sure. Oh, by the way, I like the. I know you love good, the Good Place series, right? And there's like an episode where Shiri met his what do you call? He met his idol, that philosophy thing, and do you think?
Hypatia.
Oh yeah, that person. Do you think you'll be? What if you meet your favorite author, but they are actually not good? They are actually bad. Like Shakespeare's are actually weird. Will you be disappointed? Do you think? What do you think?
Oh, that's why they say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I think that if Shakespeare is really disappointing, I won't actually be pissed, because when I read Romeo and Juliet, when Juliet says, "Oh, what if you're not Romeo? What if you go by other
It's
names?
so
What if
cheesy.
you're not
Oh, it's so
Montague?"
cheesy.
And I got a question. What if he changes his name? He's still a Montague anyway, right? That backfires.
Yeah. It sometimes doesn't make sense, but for the literary purposes and the aesthetic, yeah.
You gotta give it to him.
I feel.
But also,
You can go first.
I feel like I think I know that these writers are very problematic in real life. George Orwell has like really a lot of wives and a lot of issues. And also, we don't talk about Oscar Wilde. That man is a wild thing. Well, so I think if I meet them, it will be more fun to like discover who they really are. Unless they're really boring.
That's kind of interesting, and I do agree with that. I feel like because when you look up to someone, you have sort of a high expectation. So instead of forcing those images on them, you should just get to know them, like personally. It will be more enjoyable.
Okay, so do you have anything else to add? Okay, then you can say the question for this week is, if you can create a festival of your own, what would it be like? Yeah, and that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening. You can
follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's all Let's Talk Stupid.
You can send us by the answers via email.
It's let's talk stupid.stupid@gmail.com. I don't know why we messed that part up, but we did. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.